Shortly after 8 a.m. on a cloudy spring morning in Compton, the Martin Luther King Jr. Medical Center opened its doors. Security personnel, nurses, and hospital staff had been informed the night before that something important might happen, but no one could have predicted the events that were about to unfold. There were no press announcements or social media teasers, just an unmarked black Sprinter van parked at the loading dock and a soft knock on the administration office door. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. Inside was a brown envelope containing a certified cashier's check made out to the hospital for $2 million. Across the top of the envelope, in bold all-caps handwriting, was the message, for the families. No cameras. No credit. K. In a time when charitable acts are often performed for the camera, with people showcasing their generosity on platforms like TikTok, Kendrick Lamar opted for a more discreet approach. He remained anonymous, with his name only whispered by astonished hospital staff who could hardly believe what they were seeing. The envelope included no specific directives, just a simple note inside. Please settle all outstanding maternity and pediatric bills for families in financial distress. The future deserves peace. By lunchtime, word began to spread quickly throughout South LA. Some thought it was a joke, while others suspected it was a clever marketing stunt. However, by the next day, many families received calls from hospital finance officers informing them, "Your balance has been cleared. Your child's treatment is covered. You owe nothing now." The responses were emotional. Mothers wept tears of happiness, and fathers who had taken on extra jobs to pay off NICU bills were left speechless on their kitchen floors. Some families who hadn't dared to visit a hospital since receiving overdue notices found their medical debts wiped away overnight. The overall impact? Over 400 families relieved of the burden of medical debt. In a country where childbirth can lead to financial disaster for working-class families, this act was more than charity. It was a powerful statement against a broken system. And behind it all? Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. But this was just the beginning. In 2025, Kendrick's return to Compton was not just about concerts and hit songs. It was part of a larger mission. While the world dissected his lyrics in Not Like Us, or debated the deeper meanings of his grand national tour visuals, he was quietly working in his hometown, dedicated to rebuilding what had been lost, starting with the children. In March, a month before the hospital donation, Kendrick's team began looking for properties in East Compton. They weren't seeking upscale homes. Instead, they targeted neglected strip malls, old daycare centers, and city-owned buildings entangled in legal troubles. Within 6 weeks, they successfully acquired 4 properties, purchasing them under the name The Morale Foundation, a non-profit Kendrick had created after winning the Pulitzer Prize but had kept mostly low profile. By May, the first of these properties reopened, not as a retail outlet, but as the Kendrick Lamar Youth Sanctuary. This center introduced something innovative, free after-school programs for kids aged 6 to 18, which included mental health services, recording studios, digital literacy labs, mentorship from local Black professionals, and meditation rooms staffed by licensed trauma counselors. Unlike many programs that shut down during summer, Kendrick made sure it stayed open year-round, with no breaks for holidays. As he mentioned in a decade-old interview, "Pain don't go on vacation." What distinguished this center was not only the services offered but also the atmosphere. The walls were decorated with murals of jazz legends, hip-hop icons, and lesser-known Black activists. The entrance ceiling displayed the names of every child from Compton who had lost their life to gun violence since 2000, along with a quote from Kendrick, "Their lives matter. Their voices echo. Their stories continue, through us." Every child who entered the center was reminded of 3 crucial messages. You are safe. You are valued. Your dreams are yours. The program quickly expanded. Within 3 months, 3 more KLYS centers opened, each bustling with children, teenagers, and parents eager for a better future. Each location featured an anonymous therapy sign-up area, allowing young people to schedule sessions without fear of stigma. In just 30 days, over 900 hours of free therapy were booked. By July, the Kendrick Lamar Youth Sanctuary Initiative was being studied by professors at UCLA and Stanford, and lawmakers in Sacramento were pushing for similar programs throughout the state. Meanwhile, Kendrick quietly funded every aspect of it from his own resources. Then, an extraordinary event occurred. In late June, during a tour stop in Berlin, Kendrick received a hand-delivered letter from a mother named Tanisha, who lived just a few blocks from his childhood home on Rosecrans. Her son Malik had previously been suspended from middle school for fighting and skipping classes, earning a reputation as a problem. However, after just 8 weeks at the youth sanctuary, where he learned beat production, attended weekly therapy, and participated in spoken word, he wrote a poem titled, "The Fire Don't Own Me." The poem quickly became popular, first in the local area, then regionally, and eventually on a national scale. By the time Kendrick received the letter in Berlin, a student at NYU had adapted the poem into a short film. The boy, who had once been heading toward the juvenile system, was now accepted into a summer creative writing camp at Howard University. Kendrick was moved to tears when he read it. He then asked his manager to send Malik and his mother VIP tickets to the show in Frankfurt. That night, while performing Euphoria, he paused to point to the VIP section and said, "This is for every young person in Compton who's been told they won't succeed. Malik, keep writing." The audience went silent before erupting in applause. By this time, the media had begun to take notice. News outlets were eager for interviews, but Kendrick declined all requests. His only public statement came during a live stream chat with SZA backstage. "If I have to shout it, it's not real. The work will speak for itself. If it doesn't, then maybe it wasn't meant to." His work continued to resonate. By the end of summer 2025, Kendrick's philanthropic efforts had expanded beyond California. In Chicago, where gun violence had increased, he funded an emergency grief counseling program in partnership with Cook County. In Jackson, Mississippi, still recovering from infrastructure challenges, he paid off $300,000 in overdue rent for families in need. In Atlanta, he secretly financed the renovation of 3 abandoned schools into cultural arts centers for underprivileged Black youth. Everywhere he went, he made a lasting impact. Not through merchandise or autographs, but through legacy. What Kendrick was doing wasn't flashy, it was foundational. He didn't just write checks, he transformed the approach. In an industry focused on luxury and spectacle, Kendrick reminded everyone that the most revolutionary act a person in power can take is to give it back. There was one more twist to the story. On October 1, 2025, the city of Compton officially renamed the intersection of Rosecrans and Central Avenue Kendrick Lamar Way. During the unveiling ceremony, the mayor began to list Kendrick's achievements, Grammy wins, Pulitzer Awards, record-breaking tour statistics, but Kendrick gently interrupted. "I'm not here for any of that," he said softly, looking over the crowd. "This block raised me, but it also caused me pain. Everything I do now? That's for the kids still facing that pain." He then handed the microphone to Malik. The boy stepped forward, hands shaking and eyes shining. With his entire community watching, he performed "The Fire Don't Own Me" one last time. When it ended, there were no fireworks or backup dancers, just tears, applause, and a new sign at the corner, Kendrick Lamar Way. A path built on lyrics, silence, generosity, and the belief that in 2025, the most significant headline a man could create wasn't a diss track, it was hope. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.